You wouldn't download a car, but in less than 20 years, you can. 3D printing has changed the face of manufacturing just within the past half-decade and will continue to be a larger and larger presence in every person's life. Anything you could ever want to make, food, tools, guns, and even organs can be printed in the press of a button. When science fiction becomes just science, we have taken a huge step towards the future. We are on the cusp of the fourth industrial revolution, one that if you jump on today, you could literally build your future from the ground up. Today's 3D printing consists of a few house goods and toys with some notable exceptions. Plastic printing has nearly been perfected, allowing a wide variety of materials to be utilized and shaped into billions of different configurations just for the low price of $249. Of course, with humanity's long history of conflict, the first major innovation would be in firearms. April 2013, Austin, Texas. A man by the name Cody Wilson finished designing and testing a fully printed single-fire handgun dubbed the Liberator, named after the gun that was to be distributed to European civilians to deter the Axis powers from confronting a militia that consisted of the entire population of France. Illegal as it was faulty and accessible, it wouldn't see commercial sales until August 1st, 2018. Despite the president's support, the Liberator never saw the light of day at your local Walmart, with a federal judge posting a restraining order just one day before release. Barely coming short of legality, 3D printed firearms still saw innovation on the thin gray line within the past 7 years. Most notably, it has been documented a fully functioning Glock 17 can be made from home with just a few outside parts. In addition, you can rush B with an AK-47 fresh off the printer. Firearms will continue to evolve as designing one only takes a few hours in Blender and a few dollars of edge trimmer string. In addition to taking lives, 3D printing has been instrumental in saving them, aiding in lung transplants, facial reconstruction, dental implants, or just aiding in planning out a surgery. Doctors have taken to 3D printing with great fanfare. Prosthetics can be made in-house to fit their new host in only a few short hours and with greater accuracy than conventional means. Arteries, the literal lifeline of our bodies, can be repaired with printing, saving millions of lives. However, 3D printing isn't just limited to plastics. In fact, the story of less conventional materials is just beginning. In Austin, once more, Icon developed the means to print using concrete to create houses in just 24 hours of print time. Taking the concept to Tabasco, Mexico, a land rocked by poverty, frequent earthquakes, and cartels, the startup has proven itself dozens of times over to provide the community with quick and easy housing. With the initial experiment deemed a success, they began building a community locally within the hill community without use of wood or metal. Speaking of metal, with the renewed interest in space travel, a little Los Angeles company by the name of Relativity decided to whip out the biggest 3D printer in the world and make some rockets. Able to print out a rocket in just 60 days, compared to NASA's 2 years, international governments are already chomping at the bit, writing contracts with this 5-year-old company. Of course, metal printing hasn't only had its uses for space. Hobbyists have been able to faithfully reconstruct a M1911 with excellent accuracy. Car manufacturers have begun work on new tools and parts that prove to be more durable than machined parts made from the least material feasible and tested millions of miles before even being manufactured. In fact, recently, entire cars have been printed and seen on the road, evolving from little tykes to foreign whip that could easily fit into a science fiction film of yesteryear. But now, the big question: where do we go from here? Well, the answer is simple: both up and in. Going back to our friends at Relativity, their goals are straightforward and simple: to build the first rocket on Mars. This would have massive implications, allowing for the trip to be more than just a one-way street and allow easier travel to and from our red neighbor. In addition, this would allow missions further into the solar system, possibly going beyond our current realm of imagination. NASA shows excellent promise with further developments to their fabricator, an all-in-one printer and recycler, allowing for a crew member to create a tool and return it to the machine to create an entirely new tool altogether. With the current one in use aboard the ISS, further developments would only prove more instrumental on the station as well as future settlements. In the world of medicine, artificial organs will soon be on the market as the technology to print using just a postage stamp size of cells grows closer and closer to completion. Being made from the host cells, these organs could simply be sutured on and resume function as normal. Everything from skin grafts to heart valves to even portions of the brain would be easier to come by and replace the highly inefficient systems we have in today, like donor listing. Lastly, the drug market would undergo a massive facelift as dosages could be adjusted to the customer's needs, as well as a solution for an all-in-one pill could be created similar to customizing a car or computer before ordering online. Democratization of manufacturing wouldn't simply change the future. It would be the future. So, how could you cash in? Thankfully, now's the best time to do so with a fairly common 3D printer that can be purchased for less than $100. But mind you, you'll get what you pay for. I recommend something around the $300 mark, just enough space and competence to establish a means to develop from, and just cheap enough to avoid having to open up a Kickstarter and escape with the money. Etsy shows a number of trinkets that can be made, so it certainly has decent ROI if you want to take it seriously. In addition, there is a number of free software to learn 3D modeling, a skill that will only grow more useful as time goes on. Maya is free with a student email, whereas Blender is always going to be at that price. While you won't be building skyscrapers off the bat, you can at least build the foundation and only go up from there. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I know it's a little bit different in tone, but that's because I had to get this one out quickly because I simply wouldn't make it to the Animal Crossing video in time. That one's going to be very lighthearted and very edit heavy. Go ahead and leave a like on this video. It lets me know that you enjoyed this sort of stuff, as well as any sort of comments that you got for any sort of critique or future plans that you think that I should be able to cover, any sort of futurology sort of thing. I do have a number of things I want to talk about because I just absolutely adore this subject. But if you got any other ideas, I would love to hear for it as well. Or if you just want me to go ahead and lighten up the mood, if you want to go ahead and add some extra editing or any sort of flub-ups or anything like that, like there's plenty here. Leave that in the comment section down below as well. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week with the Animal Crossing video. Bye.